Because we don't have an intro. I'm gonna sing an intro because we don't have an intro. Oh, my white balance is off. Womp womp. Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas. Welcome to the Fight Up TV live chat. This Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. edition. I'm gonna do something that's gonna look really, really weird to you guys, really, really quick. And you might notice that your screen looks a little brown. That's what we call a little bit warm in filming speak, and that's because I didn't white balance my camera. So let me go ahead and white balance this camera real quick if I can find a blank sheet of paper. And oh wow, look, Boom Boom Mancini just sent me a text message. Isn't that's the most awesome thing? But hey, what's up, everybody? The Fight Up TV live chat. I'm about to do this white balance real quick. Look at this. I'm gonna do this, and then look. Oh, it color corrects it. Now it looks fine. But welcome to the November 23rd edition of the Fight Up TV live chat. We started this live chat long ago. No, Avi says, what do you mean, NJAP? We know it's every Monday, 5:35. We do the live chat. Come on, guys. Come on, bro. Come on. My hair is all messy and shit. All right, what's up, man? So this show is going to be, for the most part, dedicated to this Tyson Roy Jones fight that's happening this weekend. I did a bit of research. I'm going to give you guys the skinny, the info, everything you need to know about this fight, all the little details that go by with it, and all that. So, is the fight going to happen or is it canceled? No, the fight's going to happen. It's going to happen. They've poured a lot of money into this, so it's going to happen, bearing that. Neither Roy or Mike get COVID, because obviously if one of them get COVID, then yeah, we have no fight. But they put so much money, dude, into it. I wouldn't doubt it if they're like, nah, go in there, fight. Who cares if you got? Who cares if you have COVID? Fight. It's an exhibition. It doesn't matter. But they won't do that. The California Commission, I've heard, has been really, really strict with this fight. So, I'm waiting for a few more people to get in here. So we have enough people that get the information about this upcoming fight. Why is Badu Jack fighting a no-name? I don't know. Ask his promoter. Got to ask Leonard. Tweet Leonard. Tell him, hey, why is Badu Jack fighting a no-name? Let's see who he is fighting. It's some white guy that he's fighting. See here, I'm pulling up his box rec right now to see his record. He's fighting wait, this can't be right. How is it? He's a former world champion, is Badu Jack, and he's fighting a guy that's 13-0? That doesn't make any sense to me. Badu Jack's fighting Blake McKernan, 6'1" from Sacramento. They call him the Beast. But dude, he has a 1.5-star rating on BoxRec. He hasn't fought anybody good. Let me see. Has he fought anybody with a winning record? Okay, 1, 2, 3. He's fought 3 guys with a winning record. The last guy he fought was at 11-4-3. You're right. Okay, I don't even. Well, it's a stay busy fight, that's for sure. Badu Jack's gonna probably piece this guy up. But that surprised that the commission approved it, seeing that this guy's level of competition, seeing that Badu Jack's former world champion, that's really strange to me. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Tyson first round. Badu is a no-name. Come on, he's a former world champion. Only 44 people, 58 people now, sucker. When is the day of the fight? The day of the fight is this Saturday. Let's get some more likes up in here, guys. Okay, let's see. If Tyson doesn't knock out Jones in 3 or 4 rounds, he loses. Well, it's an 8-round fight, so let's see that. Okay, let's ban this guy here. Bam, you're an idiot. Get him out of here, and he's never welcomed here again, ever. When will this exhibition be? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into everything that you need to know about the fight and all the details that you guys are probably wondering in regards to the fight and everything surrounding that. So go ahead and share this. Give it a like right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're tuning in for the first time. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. NHL Turk, what's up? Hi there. Hi. Let me pull out my notes here for you guys. I prepared for this. I did some research earlier today. Okie dokie, here we go. All right, so Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. happening this weekend, November 28th. Start time, the main card, and what I mean by the main card is the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view, and it is a pay-per-view, the pay-per-view will start at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Location of the fight is in LA at the Staples Center. I know before it was at it used to be called the Home Depot Center. They changed it to, what is it? Dignity Health Center, but it is now at the Staples Center. So how do you get this fight? Like I mentioned, it's happening on the 28th. This fight's on pay-per-view. You can go on your regular like cable satellite provider and order the pay-per-view. You can get it that way. You can get it on Tyson on Triller.com or on Fight TV, or you can get it, I believe, on their app, on the Triller app as well, to go ahead and order it. How much is the pay-per-view? Some of you guys must be wondering, like, oh, what's the deal with this? How much is it going to cost us? It's going to cost you $49.99. That's the pay-per-view price for this fight. $50. $50 to watch Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fight. It's an exhibition. Yeah, I understand, but I'll be paying. That's for sure. Because I want to see Mike. That's the simple truth. And I think a majority of people just want to see Mike Tyson back in the ring, and that's the biggest selling point of this, is just to see Mike Tyson fight on the card again, and just sense of nostalgia, obviously, to see Mike Tyson do that ring walk again. And same with Roy Jones. Roy Jones has hinted he has a new version of "You Almost Forgot." Of Jesus. Why am I forgetting this? He has a new version of "Can't Be Touched" that he's going to be coming out to. I asked him in the interview that I did with Roy if he's going to do anything extracurricular activities before he comes to the fight. If he's going to play basketball, if he's going to try to announce, he's going to sing. And he said no, because it's Mike Tyson. It's a serious thing that he's not going to do anything like that. So let's go through the card. The preliminary card, and there is prelim fights, which I was surprised about. They're having prelim fights, and they're not nobody that I'm familiar with, but some of you guys know who these people are. This will be the prelim fights plural for this Tyson versus Roy Jones fight. You got Jermaine Ortiz versus Nair Albright, lightweight fight. Irvin Gonzalez Jr. versus Edward Vasquez, featherweight fight. And then they got some heavyweights as well. Giuseppe Cosumanu versus Nick Jones. Not related at all to Mike Jones. But that's the prelim card. And then the main card, which is the pay-per-view, which, like I stated, it's going to start at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. The first fight on the pay-per-view show is going to be Vidal Riley versus Rashad Coulter. Cruiserweights in a 6-round fight. Vidal, of course, is the person who trained KSI for his fight with Logan Paul for the, I guess, whatever the hell that was, fight that happened. But he is a professional boxer. He almost got into it with Shannon Briggs in the lead up to that fight. So that's kicking off the pay-per-view telecast, Vidal Riley versus Rashad Coulter. Vidal, I think, only has, I believe, a few fights. I want to say 1 or 2. Let me see here. I'll look up his record on BoxRec for you guys. BoxRec. Man, I think I'm allergic to this water that I'm drinking, because every time I drink it, it makes me slur my words. He's 4-0 with 2 knockouts, Vidal Riley from the United Kingdom. So yeah, he has a fight. He's opening up this pay-per-view, this Roy Jones Jr. Pay-per-view. Someone says that he smokes dope. Who knows? I don't know if he smokes dope. The second fight of the night is going to be, like we discussed earlier, Badu Jack, former world champion, going up against Blake McKernan, light heavyweight, for 8 rounds. Surprising But Badu Jack needs to stay active, of course. I had sent a question over for them to speak on the pay-per-view if he was looking for a Jean Pascal rematch. If obviously this is a stay busy fight for Badu Jack, he hasn't fought in a while. So we'll see what happens. We know that this guy Blake is probably not on the level of Badu Jack, and I'm really surprised that the commission approved the fight, given that Blake hasn't fought anybody of the caliber even close to a Badu Jack. So we'll see how it is. I'm not expecting these first two fights to be, or even the three fights that they have attached to this pay-per-view to be super competitive. So it is what it is. We're all buying this pay-per-view to see Mike and Roy. That's the reason why we're buying this pay-per-view. So those are the two fights that will be kicking off the pay-per-view, and then the co-main event is the one that you guys are all waiting for. This is the fight of the century, the fight that's going to bring in a new fan base for boxing. This fight is going to be the most exciting fight of the night. It's going to turn everybody instantly into fans of boxing. I know you guys can't wait for this man's second fight ever as a professional. They call him, the new god of boxing, Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson at cruiserweight. This dude's a cruiserweight? What? This guy is a little chubby then. I didn't know this was a cruiserweight fight. Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson at cruiserweight, 6 rounds. Hold up a second. Okay, this Nate Robinson's a little guy, isn't he? Let me see. How tall is Nate Robinson? Can anyone tell me on the chat? He's 6'3". Who's 6'3"? Is Nate Robinson? Nate Robinson's not 6'3", is he? Can you confirm that? Confirm that. Oh, let me check. Nate Robinson height. Let's see. He's 5'9", bro. Get out of here with your 6'3". He ain't no 6'3". Get the hell out of here. 6'3". He's 5'9". He's a little guy. He's 5'9". How tall is Jake Paul? Dude, okay, so I was watching some of Jake Paul's clips, and one, I was like, dude, this guy's really slow. But I'm like, he has power. Jake Paul's 6'1". But I was looking at him, and he doesn't look cut up like his brother before his KSI fight. So I was thinking, is this guy not cutting weight? For some weird reason, I was thinking that this fight was going to be at super middleweight, at 168 or at 160, because I just was looking at the height of him, and I'm like, okay, he doesn't look like he's a big guy. Wow, he's a cruiserweight. He's a big dude. Cruiserweight, 205. That's Bridgerweight. Why didn't they should have done the fight at Bridgerweight? Because the WBC is going to come in and give him a belt. I told the WBC too. I'm like, don't give these guys belts. Even at the Logan Paul KSI fight, I told him, do not give those guys the belt. Give them a medal, but don't give them the belt. And I understand why they do it. It's for PR, obviously, to make it recognizable. But I believe Cynthia Conti told them also, do not give these guys the belt. And I don't think they got a belt, even though Jake is going to go and be walking around with that WBC amateur belt, which drives me freaking crazy as to why he does it. He makes it think he's like some world champion or whatever. But all right, well, that's the co-main event. That's going to be the fight of the night for sure, right, guys? But I must admit, despite my criticism of the brothers and my little jabs at them, I got to give them respect. I think people in general got to give them respect, because this is, I think, Jake's second time in a real camp. He's actually training and putting in the work and sparring. Not a lot of people do that. And at the end of the day, he's going to have a real fight as well. So you got to respect him for that. He's doing something that a majority of people wouldn't have the balls to do, both him and his brother. So you got to give him credit for that aspect, that they're doing something that a majority of people wouldn't even do, regardless of all the ish that we talk about them, all the criticism that they get. They're going in there and fighting somebody that wants to take their head off. So you got to give them respect for that. And they're putting in the work, putting in the training. Just cruiserweight, man. He's a chubby guy. How's this guy a cruiserweight? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. He's fluffy. He can cut down more weight than that. Logan is too big and stiff. These rich bums wouldn't even compete in the Junior Olympics. Hey, you got to give him credit, though. Am I not right? Like, they're going in there and, like having a real fight, taking real punches, going through a real camp, sparring with, I would think, guys that are better than them, that are giving them work. Those guys in camp with them are trying to take their head off, I bet, because they have that name recognition, with them. And I'm sure they get people all the time, like, calling them out, trying to go and spar with them, go knock their head off because of just their YouTube notoriety. See, we got Linda Martin right here, Jake Paul's #1 fan, the head of the Jake Paul Booster Club, and all of Jake Paul's memorabilia on eBay saying, F me, Jake's cool. There you go. Coming from Jake Paul, #1 fan right here. Mark Young, what's up, man? Hey, Marcus, do you think the badass talk Tyson is doing, speaking of a knockout, is only hyper real? I've been trying to think about this scenario for a while now, okay? In one aspect, I would imagine a part of it is hype to talk it up, to talk it up that this fight is going to happen. And even though it's an exhibition, they're taking it as a real fight. When they say that, I understand that. But the other aspect is knowing that, and this is the tricky part too, because they're both like alpha freaking, they're alphas to the alpha, both these guys, okay? And it's just hard to believe that once the competitive juices start going, they're going to take it easy on each other. Like, I would understand, like, they're professionals, they know how to conduct themselves, and they know, hey, this is an exhibition. But I find it very, very hard to believe once they're in there moving around, the competitiveness of both guys are going to stop them from really, I don't want to say really try to hurt each other, but it's going to keep rising and rising and rising and rising once they're in there. And I think the moment one of those guys lands a real hard shot, and I've gone through this when I've done sparring with people, and anybody you talk to, any pro fighter you talk to, or any person you talk to that's been sparring with someone, you always start. The first rule that they tell you when you spar for the first time is only hit the guy as hard as you want to get hit. But people get crazy, and it always comes to a point. Always comes to a point, man, when you'll get hit with a good shot and you'll get angry, and then you'll hit the guy back with a little bit harder of a shot. And that other guy goes, you know what, you mofo, I'm going to tag this dude back because I don't like getting hit with shots like that. And that's where it begins. That's when the intensity, little by little starts rising. Now you imagine at the highest stage, at the highest level with these two guys, you would think they're professionals, they know it's an exhibition, but I just can't see one or the other because they have so much pride. Also, they don't want to look foolish. They've trained this whole time for this fight. I just can't imagine if a good shot lands on either or that they're going to back off. And we've all said it, like, really the X factor that they're saying is Mike. The moment that Mike Tyson gets punched for reals, what's going to happen? The fight's going to really break out. People are hoping that a fight really breaks out, and that's a big reason as to why people are purchasing this pay-per-view, is to see if something like that does happen. So some of it is talk, but some of it, I could see that maybe they will be serious. So give you the info on the undercard, give you the info on the viewing information for the fight. Now let's talk a little bit about the main events and I guess the little tidbits that I was able to get from my various friends about this event. So with that being said, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, bro. You guys must be wondering, what's up with this fight? What are the rules? What are they going to do? What is it being judged? What happens if this happens to a fighter? Is there going to be a winner? I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of all of that. right now. Okay. Before we get to that, though, make sure to smash that like button right meow. Smash that like button. We got almost 400 people in here. Make sure to hit that like button right now. Let's get those likes up so we can go ahead and I'll give you guys all the info on that. Hey, Trevor Smith, man, you need to shut your fucking mouth. You know what I think about that? Doesn't matter what you think because you're out of here, Trevor Smith. I'm sorry, bro. You got to go, dog. You got to go. Nah, you know what? I'll let Trevor, because his name is Trevor. That's such a funny name. My name's Trevor. Hi, guys. I'll let him here on the chat just because you have a funny name. And, you know, all right. See, Trevor said sorry. See, okay, he's cool. 5 more likes. Let's go. 5 more likes, guys. Let's get 5 more likes. Let's get to 100 here. That made my day. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. I'm Marcos Villegas, the founder of this little channel called Fight Hub. Subscribe to the channel. Danny Garcia just worked out earlier today. I'll send links to his workouts and all that. Make sure to go ahead and follow us on social media as well. But let's go ahead and get this started, okay? Let's go ahead and gotta stir ish up in order to be heard. You know that you're right to a point. Because fighters do that. Fighters will go and stir the pot to exactly make some noise to get fights that normally they wouldn't get or there wouldn't be buzz around. So Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., it's an 8-round exhibition, okay? 8 rounds. It's not a 12-round fight, not a 10-round fight, not a 6-round fight. It's an 8-round exhibition. So what does an exhibition entail in terms of the rules of the California State Athletic Commission? And what could be a potential outcome in this fight? Well, first off, this fight is going to have a special commemorative belt from the WBC, which is being called the WBC Frontline Belt. I have no idea what this belt looks like, what it's about. A lot of people say, oh, you know, WBC, I don't really care. It's an exhibition fight. It's a trophy. That's what it is. It's a trophy. So people shouldn't be tripping out over the belt, okay? WBC does this for like the Cinco de Mayo fights, the Mexican Independence Day fights, for anything that merits a big-time event. The WBC will create a special belt for the event. So I don't have a problem with it at all. It doesn't mean anything. It's not an extra belt. It has no consequence whatsoever, but they're calling it the WBC Frontline Belt. I haven't seen a picture of it, but more props to them. More props to them. So, like I mentioned, 8 rounds. Usually, in a sparring exhibition, they will have headgear because that's what it is. If you see the early YouTube fights with Logan Paul, Jake Paul, all those guys that happened in England, they all had headgear on. This is different, given the level of Roy and Mike. It's an exhibition, 8 rounds, but with no headgear. But here's the catch. Instead of 3-minute rounds, it'll be 2-minute rounds, which Roy Jones Jr. was extremely pissed off about. Now, I'll actually send you guys a link right now, but he's mad. He's mad because he's like, yo, we're not women. The women do, and it's the truth. The women do 2 rounds. We don't do 2 rounds. You're taking rounds away from us, from the fans. You can only do so much in 2 minutes, and that extra round you could really get going. You're really cheating the fans. Like, I understood where Roy was coming from, but he he got really, really mad over it, and it was actually pretty damn funny when he was going off. This happened during the press conference as well. Yo, Retsu, bro, you gotta relax. Stop spamming us, dog. Sheesh. Get out of here with that mess, man. Fuera. Get out of here, dog. Here we go. This is Roy going off. This was pretty hilarious. So with that being said, 2-minute rounds, 12-ounce gloves, which is the norm, I believe, for heavyweight fight. I think Roy had mentioned something in the interview that I did with him a few weeks back that he was asking for I want to say bigger. No, was he asking for bigger gloves? I think he was asking for bigger gloves, bigger size gloves. Don't quote me on that. I got to go comb back through the interview. But here's the weird thing about this exhibition too. So no knockouts are allowed. What do you mean there's no knockouts allowed in this? Like what? How do you enforce no knockouts? Like they're okay, it's a sparring and just say like a punch lands and the guy gets knocked out. Like not like you can stop that. Like how are they not I don't understand how they're not going to enforce knockouts. I don't get it. If like they're swinging too hard or something like that, is the ref going to tell them like, yo, bro, you got to stop punching like this? Like I don't understand that. Yo, Henry Martinez is using what is it called? A super chat. And when we do super chats here on the channel, if they pop up, I got to answer them right away. So Henry Martinez, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Dang, you interrupted me right in the middle of breaking down this Tyson thing. All right. I'm going to get to your question right now. I'm going to answer it. What are your thoughts on Bob Arum's comments about Terence Crawford and Arum losing money on him? I think it's really sad and messed up. I agree. I was really surprised by Bob Arum's comments. It took me by surprise. But Bob's at an age where he doesn't give an F about what he says. And I think that's what happens in general with old people. And, actually, it's a really stress-free way to live life, is just saying whatever the hell you want to say. But I guess, you get to an age where you don't take people's bullcrap anymore. And he's lucky. He's at that age where he can say whatever the hell he wants, plus he's the owner of the company. Kind of shot himself in the foot. But I think that it's going to get washed over. I read a few articles that Terence Crawford said he's going to try to work things out with Bob, that he can't be mad at Bob because Bob really did try to make these fights happen with Spence and all these other fighters. Bob just did an interview today that he said that everything to do with Terence Crawford is going to be handled by his stepson, Todd DeBuff, who is the president of Top Rank. He's throwing everything his way. And Bob expressed that he was just really angry about a letter he received from Terence Crawford's lawyers that were leaked to the press, and he felt that was very unprofessional of the team to go ahead and do that, very unprofessional of the lawyers to go ahead and do that, and he was just more or less blowing out some steam on that point. But I was really surprised by Bob's comments. On one way, I could see where he's coming from. Obviously, for people to get into business, you get into business to make money. You don't get in business to do things for free. You don't get in the business to lose money. You get in the business to make money and make a lot of it. If there's a fighter that's not commercially successful for you, then you got to reevaluate a few things. Is it you or is it the fighter? Is there enough things being done there to promote that fighter? Is your TV partners doing enough to promote that fighter? You got to take all those things into account as well. The one thing is, I know a lot of people have mentioned this, is that they're like, well, dude, Terence Crawford doesn't sell. He doesn't do a lot of media. He doesn't sell tickets, blah, blah, blah. That's not entirely true. He sells out in his hometown. He sells out in Omaha. He sells out big, 15,000 seats, 16,000 seats. That, he's selling out arenas over there back home. So it's not that he's not commercially viable. He is in his hometown, but the greater general market, maybe not as much so. But then, it comes a point, it's a push and pull system. Him as the promoter, they got to work a little bit harder than to promote him, to get him in the media, which Bob shot himself in the foot. But also, I think this is the most people have ever talked about Terence Crawford ever, given the comments that happened last week with his win over Kell Brook and all this other stuff that came through. Another guy needs to get out of here. You got all these jokesters, all these freaking jokesters, man. Another guy. So I was just surprised with what he was saying. God, if someone wants to be a moderator, let me know, because you got some of these lames. They're just clogging up the feed here as well. So that's my answer to that question that you had, Henry, and I appreciate that as well. All right, now back to Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. Okay, so where did we left off? We left off that NJMP. You got me, bro. I think you do follow us on Instagram. and Micah as well. You guys have been here since the beginning. So NJNP and Micah, send me a DM, please, on the Instagram, and we'll get that sorted out. We'll make you the moderators because you guys are always here on this chat week after week, and I really, really appreciate you guys being here week after week. Hey, let's go ahead and get some more likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 200 likes. So let's go ahead and smash that smash that like button like you smash your significant other or your side person. You know, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that, dog. All right, back to Tyson Jones fight. So I left off with there's no knockouts, which I have no idea how the hell they're going to enforce this. It makes no sense to me. California State Athletic Commission describes this to the press, to people here, that this is going to be like hard sparring. But here's the thing. Hard sparring, when you spar, is like having a fight. So, oh man, I just don't understand how they're saying all this, but it's very, very good chance this thing becomes an absolute just freaking ish show. And yeah, they're not going to be able. Well, they're going to stop the fight. They're going to stop the fight because they're going too hard. Yeah, highly, highly doubt it. Highly, highly doubt it. But that's according to the California State Athletic Commission. All right, here's another thing that the California State Athletic Commission is implementing, because it's an exhibition fight. It's a hard sparring, okay? There's going to be no official judges for this fight. There's not going to be a winner or a loser in this fight because it's a sparring, because it's an exhibition. But to kind of, I don't want to say sidestep, but I guess it is a sidestep. The WBC has implemented like special judges to be incorporated into the telecast, and the special judges will be. Let's see here. What did I write? Special judges will be Christy Martin, which is a female fighter. She was a world champion, trailblazer, actually. Christy was. She fought. That's funny. She fought on Tyson's undercards back in the 90s. So good for Christy. Vinny Paz. And I'm gonna tell you something about Vinny Paz. Vinny Paz is a funny guy. And Chad Dawson, with the referee of the fight being Ray Corona. Let's get 24 more likes, please, guys. Let's get this up to 200 likes. So those will be the WBC judges, and I believe Triller, which is they're not even promoters, the event organizers. They're going to be going to them during the pay-per-view broadcast to see, like, hey, who's winning the fight, who had the best of that round. Tell you a funny thing with Vinny Paz. Vinny Paz is a crazy freaking guy. He's the guy that the movie Bleed for This is about. If you ever get a chance to see him, and you ever get a chance, if you're in Vegas, if you ever just run into this guy, okay, take a picture with him and have a chat with him. Vinny Paz is like one of the funnest freaking guys in the world. The guy's absolutely mental. He's crazy, but the fun and crazy. He'll probably drink you under the table. I had a chance to meet him on 2 occasions. One at the Hall of Fame in Florida, and the one in Vegas. I had a few drinks with the guy. It was hilarious. He's a funny guy, has tons of freaking stories, and he likes to party. So if you will get a chance to ever run into him or hang out with him or see him, take a picture, give him a hug, give him a high five, and go and have a drink with him. And yes, Vinny Paz did fight Roy in that fight where Roy just blitzed him. But I don't think he'll be biased in the fight, to be honest. That's water under the bridge. I really don't think that's going to be anything. Chad Dawson, former world champion. Andre Ward went up and took his title from him years ago. I was there at that fight. I think it was for a super middleweight fight when Andre Ward knocked out Chad Dawson. That was back in Sacramento, but that was a random pick, to be honest. So, according to the promoters, Tyson and Roy Jones will be making their ring walks at 11 p.m., which doesn't make sense to me. At 11 p.m., that's almost 2 in the morning on the East Coast. That's really, really late, because this is also fights and a concert. They're going to have, let's see here. They announced who will be on this. It's like Lil Wayne, someone else, rappers I never even freaking heard of. Okay, I lost it. I had the list, but for sure, Lil Wayne and two other rappers are also going to be performing. So it's like a mini concert. So I guess this is going to run long, but 11 p.m. ring walk for Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., which is extremely late. So you guys on the East Coast are going to be up pretty late watching this main event, but main event's probably going to last like, I don't know, a few rounds. So we'll see how that goes. So this is the first time Mike Tyson's going to be back in the ring since 2005. YG and the baby. There we go. Adam, you got a big up for that. Like I was mentioning, it's the first time that look at. All right, hold on a second. Before I get to that, there's this guy named Joe right here that just called all of us losers. But you know what, Joe? You're the biggest loser. Let's go ahead and get this guy out of here. What a loser. Loser. The biggest loser. You're the biggest of losers, the saddest loser. You know that? All right, let's get back to the task at hand. Let's see here. Aaron, you're funny. Hilarious. Yes, Trevor LaHoozer. There you go. All right, Kick Rocks Joe for sure. This is the first time that Mike Tyson's back in the ring since 2005, where he suffered a 6-round TKO loss to Kevin McBride. So it's been, 15 years for Iron Mike since he's done any sort of like real legit ring activity. He had an exhibition here and there and a few other things, but this is like a real legit that he's actually been through camp and been prepared for. Calling it an exhibition, but this guy, Mike, prepared for a real fight. Look at the shape that he's in. He prepared for a real freaking fight. So did Roy, which, even though they're calling it an exhibition, hard sparring, like I mentioned, I really don't know when they're in the thick of it. I don't know how it's gonna go, man. These guys are both athletes at the highest level, so we'll see. Roy Jones, obviously, 4-division world champion at middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. Was the first person in like 100 years to go from middleweight and win a heavyweight title. Jones last fought in February of 2018, beating Scott Sigmund in his hometown of Pensacola, Florida. He hasn't been knocked out since 2015 and has lost to Enzo Maccarelli. I don't even know if I said Maccarelli. Italian names are so hard for me to pronounce because but Enzo Maccarelli in 2015, I think Lebenev and Green knocked him out way back as well in that fight. Long Dog, what's up, bro? Kind of sad to see Mike, a legendary boxer, with a chump like Jake. I could see Mike and Roy die on the floor. Oh, I hope not, dude. Shoot. But, Jake, he's a big name in the YouTube world, So, I think because of the DAZN thing and how well it did, that, there's weight behind that name. He knows how to promote himself. You see this guy on TMZ all the time. I don't know who pushed him to that. I don't know who made him popular. All these millennial YouTubers or these freaking millennials, man, ruined everything. They made him popular, but this is the world that we live in now. So it is what it is. So back to Roy Jones. Roy is extremely annoyed with the 2-minute rounds. He's not happy about it. So that is pretty much everything that you need to know about this fight, everything that I was able to go ahead and get information-wise behind this. I am being told that they're not sure for allowing media. They reached out to me and sent me an email saying that they haven't decided if they're going to have media yet. It's really dependent on the California State Athletic Commission, and they'll let me know. Got my fingers crossed. I'd love to be there in person to cover the fight. So, I'm really hoping that they go ahead and do approve some media But even then, man, you got the whole freaking world wanting to cover and go to this fight. So it's like these guys aren't boxing people. They don't know how long we've been around. They don't know, all the events that we've covered. They don't know that we're like one of the top dogs in boxing because they're completely new to this. They're an entertainment company. So, I just hope that they do allow media in there and they do select me to go and cover it because, man, so I started covering boxing 10 years, like 11 years ago. By the time I started covering boxing, obviously Mike had already retired. I never got a chance to cover a Mike Tyson fight. Roy Jones Jr. was already on his way out. The fights that he was having weren't on the West Coast. They were on the East Coast. His fight with Calzaghe was in New Jersey. No, Atlantic City. Yeah, Atlantic City, New Jersey. His fight with Bernard Hopkins. I don't even know what that was, but the fight hub was still very small, so I never got a chance to really go ahead and cover his fights because we weren't big and we weren't getting credentials back then. So I never got a chance either to cover a Roy Jones Jr. fight in person. So if I'm able to go and cover this in person, that'd be a real treat because I'd be able to see finally Roy and Mike fight at some capacity in person live. That's another thing. Like I never got to cover a Klitschko fight, which I regret. Like I really, really wish I would have seen a Klitschko fight in person. So maybe there's still time. Maybe he'll come back for one more fight. It seems like he's retired, but who knows? All right, guys, that was pretty much everything you need to know about Tyson and Roy Jones. If you guys are just joining us, if you guys missed the info, just go ahead and rewind a little bit, and I go through the whole freaking thing as to what time it starts, who's on the card, and all that. So I appreciate that. Eugene Aaron III, what up, man? Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. So let's go ahead and do the live chat portion of this, guys. Hey, Marcos, what do you think of Mike saying he would be down to fight AJ Fury and Wilder? When did he say this? If you could send me a link to this, I'd like to see it because this is news to me. Everything I've heard him say is he's kind of like whatever about it, like, we'll see, we'll see, like, and maybe let's see how this goes. But if he's saying that he'd be down to fight AJ Fury or Wilder, wow. I interviewed Bernard Hopkins, even Roy. I asked Roy this when I did the interview with Roy. I asked Roy, can Mike become heavyweight champion again? And he told me, yes, he can. He can because of his power and because the current crop of heavyweights aren't that good. He didn't say they weren't that good, but he said it in a way that he, what's the right word, inferred that they weren't that good. And he said that Tyson could beat a Wilder, could beat an Anthony Joshua. Tyson Fury would be a little bit harder, but because of his power, that he felt that he could. I asked Bernard Hopkins the same thing. Bernard, can Mike Tyson be heavyweight champion of the world again? And I was surprised. Bernard Hopkins said, yeah, because he said it's a weak era right now in the heavyweights. And I'm like, come on, Bernard, these guys are freaking monsters compared to Mike. And he's like, you don't understand. This is Mike Tyson. At the end of the day, Mike Tyson is still Mike Tyson. He still has that power. He can still put you out with one punch. And yes, you can be putting it on him for a few rounds, but if he touches you, what's going to happen? And I started thinking, honestly, I think the most vulnerable guy for Tyson would be an Anthony Joshua because he hasn't had the best resistance to punches. He's been hurt multiple times in fights. Imagine if Tyson connects with anybody, he's going to put him on the butt. But I think if he were to fight someone now, obviously he'd be the underdog. I wouldn't favor him in the fight because these are guys half his age that have been active, that are bigger, faster, stronger than him. But I think he could maybe be competitive for a few rounds. First 3 rounds, 4 rounds, and then after that, it's like his best chance is early on. So this is new to me, him actually saying that he would entertain a fight with Joshua, Fury, or Wilder. But I don't think, I don't know. Like, I could see him beating a Joshua. if he's able to put it on him for 3 rounds. I could see him. I don't know about Wilder, to be honest, man. Wilder is just as crazy of a puncher like Tyson, to be honest. Fury's just too big and mobile. I think his best chance would be someone like an Anthony Joshua. But he's only competitive, I think, for like 3-4 rounds, and then after that, it's the reason why he retired. There's a reason why that Father Time is undefeated. Roy Jones kills Tyson, says, was it Kalau? Kalau. What up? Imagine Tyson and Ruiz. Oh, man. That would not be good. Tyson and Ruiz. Andy's a really fast guy, man. And pressure. That might be a good fight, actually, for Tyson. If he stays in the pocket. This is the thing, man. Andy has pop in his punches, too. He has pop in his punches. Drug-tested fight. Yes, VADA. EM. They went through VADA. I think Roy was taking stem cells for his knees. And then when they brought VADA in, he had to stop taking stem cells for his knees. And I think, there was other concerns that Mike might be on like HGH or TRT because he's hanging out with Vitor Belfort, And, whenever you see Vitor back in like extremely muscular shape, you're kind of like, okay. Vitor got a hold of those special Brazilian supplements, his little, magic TRT prescriptions. So yeah, there is a VADA for this fight. Mike's with Vitor. Oh yeah, Trevor. Yeah, Mike's with Vitor. Tyson is 53 effing years old. Stop with the AJ or Wilder BS. Tyson isn't fighting these young guys. You sound stupid even talking about this. Roy gets dropped by a strong win. Bro, let me tell you something. It sounds crazy, I know. Okay? It sounds crazy. I know. I understand this. If it was somebody else in a different weight class and us talking about this, it's like if Sugar Ray Leonard would have come back. We'd be like, what the hell? I'm like, no way. Sugar Ray Leonard, you're washed now. You're old. No. But I've seen this happen before at heavyweight, okay? Because they're heavyweights and they retain that punch. And yeah, it's cliche, but it's the most truest for the heavyweight division out of all divisions, where it only takes one punch. One punch can change the fight. That rings most true at heavyweight because they're heavyweights. And seeing some of these guys fight, and you got to imagine, yes, if Mike Tyson did make a serious comeback, okay, there's a lot of things going against him. Obviously, the heavyweights now are bigger, stronger, faster, younger, more active. A lot of things going against him, okay? But he still retains the thing that made him special. His power and his speed. That's always what made Mike Tyson special. He has experience on his side. He seems to have a better grasp of fundamentals than a good amount of some of the heavyweights as well. And you got to think, for 1, 2, 3 rounds, Mike Tyson is going to be really dangerous in there, regardless of who he's fighting. He's going to be dangerous. He's going to be a legit threat. And anybody who goes in the ring with him is always going to keep in the back of their head, dude, that's freaking Mike Tyson. I can't let this guy land a punch on me because he still has power. It's obvious he still has the power. It's obvious. We saw the clips. Yeah, we haven't seen a full training session. Yeah, I understand. They're editing it for purpose because it probably looked terrible at first. But at the end of the day, he still has his power. At the end of the day, they called George Foreman crazy. What is this freaking George Foreman guy eating freaking cheeseburgers, hamburgers, looking all flabby? What business does he have going in there with Michael Moore, with Evander Holyfield, with all these other guys? Michael Moore winning the world heavyweight title again at the age that he did it. What business does he have? No way he's going to get freaking derailed like crazy. Look what George did. I'm not saying it's likely that he goes in and beats a lot of these guys, but I'm saying there's certain guys at heavyweight right now that I feel for 1 or 2, 3 rounds, he would be dangerous against. That's all I'm saying. So with that, I'll leave you on your question that you asked me with that. Big Mac, what's up? I haven't had a Big Mac in forever. Have you heard anything about Tyson sparring? No, I haven't. I know Zab Judah's been in camp with him a lot, but they haven't released anything about Mike's sparrings. And the only thing I know about Roy's sparrings is he's been going really hard. And when I did the interview with Roy a few weeks back, he was really angry. He was in a bad mood. He was in a bad mood because he got hit with the right hand. He told me, he's like, he was really pissed off about it. And he's like, dude, if Mike Tyson hits me with that right hand, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to get hit with those kind of punches. So I felt like the weight of his frustration on the interview, where he was just thinking about that punch, and he told me, hey, I keep thinking about this punch. So, I haven't heard much on the sparring part. I think this will be close to an Ali versus Lyle, then Ali versus Foreman. Prime Tyson versus Prime Cain Velasquez. Who you got? Man, Marcos, you should fight Ellie. He don't want that. Come on. He don't want that. He don't want that. You guys are funny. Let's get some more likes. Let's see if we can get to 250 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel. Support us as we go ahead and get to 900,000 subscribers almost, man. If we can get to 900,000 subscribers this weekend, that'd be freaking great. So go ahead and please contribute to that as well to get us 900,000 subscribers. Marcos versus Ellie. No, you guys, why are you guys stirring the pot, dog? Don't do that. Marcos fight Ariel. Nah, I like Ariel. Big target, though. He's a big target. There'd be no problem in a fight. So you got to do. The guy got a big old schnoz. All right. Prime Tyson versus Cain. That's like apples and oranges, dude. One's an MMA fighter. The other's a boxer. I've always Pino versus MJP mud wrestling. That's hilarious. Thank you, Bullet. I appreciate for you subscribing. Fighter's Voice. I'd love to. Send me an invite, dog. Prime Cain Velasquez. Okay, I'm gonna get into an MMA thing real quick. Okay, to me, I still think Fedor Emelianenko is the greatest MMA heavyweight of all time, just because he was undefeated for 7 years and just completely starched and murked everybody that got in his way, and he was a combination of speed and power. He was like a Cain. Cain wasn't the most body beautiful heavyweight, but he was the most conditioned and he was fast. Thing with Fedor that put him away, put him apart from everybody was, he was a small heavyweight, but he was so small and explosive that these bigger, bulkier heavyweights that were kind of lurching didn't know how to respond against someone so fast, so powerful like Fedor. Apples and oranges, man. But to me, I still feel Fedor is the greatest MMA heavyweight of all time. And you see, okay, here we go. Now you're going to get me really pissed off, bro. Really freaking angry. 100 iTuber, bro. I know you didn't mean it, but here we go. Here we go, man. This Zuffa zombie right here. UFC's fed you all this crap, this stupid narrative stuff. Want to know why? To discredit Fedor, because they want their champion to be more marketable, and it's all BS. It's all BS. They say Verdum's the greatest heavyweight. They say, what's his freaking face? Stipe is the greatest heavyweight. Get out of here with that crap. You kidding me, dog? Every time a person wins, they're the greatest of all time now in MMA. With that crap, man. You kidding me? It's so, oh, man. Let me tell you this. This is how you should be gauging someone to I don't want to say GOAT status, but this is how it should be seen. One, you can't call someone who's active the greatest of all time because you don't know how their career is going to play out, okay? They can end up losing like freaking 6 fights in a row and they get popped for steroids. Look what happened to Anderson Silva, okay? So that's already sin one that all these people are doing with that stuff, okay? The other thing, you got to look. And you know what? Who told me this? Because we're having the same freaking conversation. Okay, all these freaking Zuffa zombies. Anderson Silva is way greater than Floyd Mayweather. Okay, and it got to a point that it started. Journalists, reporters started bringing it up to Floyd, like, "Hey, there's this MMA champion that they're saying that he's a greater champion than you." Blah blah blah. What do you think? And we asked this to Floyd, Floyd was annoyed. He said, hey, he never referred to Anderson by name. He said that MMA guy. But he said, hey, you got to look at this when you're gauging someone's greatness. You got to see how many weight classes. But the most important thing, and I always remember that, Floyd's like, you got to look at how long have they been dominating for, okay? How long have they been a dominant force in their sport? How consistent have they been with dominating in their sport? And it's like, let me give you me for an example. I was a world champion within the first, after 1 year of being a pro. And he's like, how long have I been a world champion since? And I'm like, I don't know, like freaking 10 years. He's like, longer, 15. I'm like, okay, Floyd. He's like, how long has this guy been dominating? I'm like, 5 years. You got 10 years to go. Okay, that's one thing. So when they start saying Stipe is greater than freaking Fedor, dude lost and then won again and defended. The dude defends his title 3 times. He's the greatest of all time. Defended the title 3 times. Big freaking deal. 3 times. Okay. The other thing, Fedor at the time was facing all the top heavyweights in the world in Pride. All the top fighters in the world were in Pride. The UFC was not what Pride was. The UFC was kind of like, I don't want to say the second tier, but they certainly didn't have the best heavyweights in the world at that time. Their heavyweight champion was freaking Tim Sylvia. All right? The other thing, back to that. Undefeated with 1 no contest, okay, before the Verdum fight, all right? And the 1 no contest was a disqualification. Everybody else he murked, okay? The only other guy that's replicated that type of dominance consistently at a world-class level, the level of Fedor, has been John Jones. And when all this is said and done, I really think that John Jones is going to have that GOAT moniker in MMA. Yes, there's the Coke binges and the picograms and all that crap's going to be a big old freaking asterisk on there. But those are the only 2 guys that have been dominant consistently over world-class opposition at the highest level over that. So get out of here with your crap that Fedor is in the GOAT. Get out of here with that. All right, next question. That all that talk came from Dana and freaking Joe Rogan. And it gets me even angry, too, that Joe Rogan knows a lot about MMA. How's he going to say that Fedor isn't like probably the greatest heavyweight of all time? Get the hell out of here with that. And he starts saying Stipe. Man, Stipe, can you even – how long was his reign? He lost the belt. How long has he really been dominant for? I bet you anything, John Jones moves up, John Jones probably beat him. So what does that say now about your GOAT argument? All right, dog. Like you asked the questions we fans want to know. Thank you, Clovis. I appreciate that, bro. All right, I got a little heated up there. I get heated, man, because they're trying to take away from Fedor. That's why I get angry about this, okay? Because they're trying to, like, brainwash new fans that don't know, that haven't followed the sport since the beginning, okay? And it's this narrative that, hey, because he never signed with us, he's not the greatest. He wasn't a good fighter. He never fought for the UFC. He wasn't a good fighter. Get the fuck out of here with that crap, man. Oh, God, Mega, you're dumb, bro. You're dumb. Stipe would ruin Jones, guy. So, Mega, okay. So, when this fight happens, I hope to God I see you on a live chat because we're going to talk about it. I'll put my money. I think John Jones is going to beat Stipe. Okay, so I'll put my money on it. You think Stipe is going to beat Jones? We'll see. We'll see, bro. We'll see. But I think you're completely wrong, dog. I think you're completely wrong, bro. Completely wrong. Joe Rogan don't know shit about. No, Joe Rogan knows a lot about boxing. I think Joe Rogan was a boxing fan first before an MMA fan. So he knows more about boxing than me, bro. And I've been in boxing and trench for the past 10 years. All these old fights, he's seen them all. I haven't seen them. And I'm jealous because he got to see all those fights. I never got to see all of them. So he knows a lot more than what people think he does. Nah, Mega, you're crazy, bro. If you think that, you're crazy, dog. You're crazy. You crazy, bro. Fedor's the GOAT, man. Get out of here with that. Fedor's the GOAT. All right. Who's Floyd fighting in Japan? There is a date. Floyd's fighting in February, February 28th in Japan, and he's I heard he was fighting freaking he's a freaking champion over there. Let me see. I can look him up right now. I'll let you know exactly as of this point, because I heard it might end up being another MMA guy that he's fighting. But as of this point, Floyd is doing an exhibition with. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up right now. I'll find it for you guys. This guy just retired too. He's friends with Jorge Linares. Let me see here. Let me see if I could find him. I'm looking at the world champions right now. Where is he? Yamanaka. I think he's fighting Yamanaka. And Yamanaka is like another little guy. But I believe it's Yamanaka. Hold on a second. Let me see. Don't quote me on that. Hold on. Let's see here. He recently just retired too. Oh man. Let's see here. Maybe some of you guys know this. I think it's Yamanaka that he's fighting. But because the show Mega is going to be like an MMA show, I was told that there might be an MMA fight in this fight as well. So, we'll see how it is. All right, guys, if you haven't liked the stream already, please like. Let's go ahead and get to 250 likes. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media at Fight Hub TV, and you can give me a follow as well at Hey, it's Marcos V. These live chats are done every Monday at 5:35. So is Canelo's fight really happening? Yeah, it was announced. Canelo's fighting December 19th in Texas at the Alamo Dome. Tickets, if you live in Texas, can be purchased. For the Alamo Dome, he's fighting Callum Smith for Callum's super middleweight titles, which is the WBA and the Ring Magazine title. So it is official. Canelo is back, and he's fighting on that date. NJMP has, what's that, MJ? What is that in reference to? David is not going to buy the fight. I bet you're going to watch it, though. Everyone's, okay, we're all saying like, we're not going to buy it, but this is what's going to happen, bros, okay? We're all going to get with our homies. We're all going to go pitch in on the fight or order the fight, or we're going to find a stream to watch the fight. That's what we're all going to end up watching it, because at the end of the day, it's Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Art Clen. You're funny. You guys are funny. Hey, bro, that wasn't his fault, man. It's from tacos. It's from tacos, bro. He went to his taqueria. It was contaminated, bro. You don't understand. He's eating a lot of tacos and tortas, okay? Fighter's Voice, send me a DM on Instagram, bro. Hey, Marcos, it's supposed to be an exhibition. What are the chances Tyson and Roy Jones knock each other out? Rewind the stream. I go through that. Start from the beginning. I go through all of that, give you all the info about all that. Canela, I was born ready. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some more likes on here, guys. Please. Let's get it to 250. I just did a taco crawl in Manhattan. Manhattan, New York, or Manhattan Beach, California? That's going to be my excuse when they drug test me at work. That you ate freaking tortas? That you went to Mexico and you got contaminated trace amounts of Clen? NYC taco crawl. Hey, los tacos in New York, dude, valen verga, güey. But there's only one place in New York, in Manhattan, that's good, okay? And I think it's called Los Tacos. This is the only taco spot I've ever found in New York, in Manhattan, that's good. And it's that place. So I recommend going to that place. I believe Los Tacos in New York. It's the only good place to eat tacos. If you're ever on the West Coast, bro, best tacos in the world. Bar none, best tacos in the world. Best tacos in the freaking world are from Tijuana. Look for Tijuana-style tacos wherever you go. It's different everywhere in the U.S. Like the tacos in Texas are completely different than the tacos in New Mexico, tacos in Arizona, tacos in California. California is more similar to Tijuana style because, we're so close to Tijuana, but they're all different. But to me, the Tijuana style tacos are delicious. Henry, what's up, bro? Thank you for the other super chat. What parts of Mexico have you traveled to? Well, so I'm Mexican, and my parents are Mexican and from Mexico. My parents are what is it? Let's see. We've been to Acapulco, No, excuse me, not Acapulco. Puerto Vallarta. I've been Mazatlan, Guayabitos, obviously Cabo, Tijuana, Cancun, uh, Mazatlan. What's that other place? Those are a few of the places I've been in Mexico. I'd like to go to the F. I would love to go to the F. Are you still doing the unofficial scoring? Says Lobitos Den Boxing. Yes, I am, but just for the Fox, the big Fox telecast. Only thing I can say is tweet PBC that you want them to have me on the pay-per-views because they have someone else doing the pay-per-views. You know, it is what it is. But I'm just doing the big Fox shows, not doing the Fox pay-per-views or the FS1s because they had budget cuts for the FS1 shows as well. Tacos La Glorieta. Bro, I used to go to that tacos. That's in Tijuana, right? Tacos La Glorieta. If that was the name of the taco spot that I would go to in Tijuana. And if that's the spot that you're referring to, I grew up in that area in Tijuana. So that'd be pretty cool. Have I been to La Comida China in Tijuana? Yes, of course. I've been to go eat some Comida China in Tijuana. I need to hear how you feel about Garcia's chances against Spence. Really good chances, I feel. If he's going to catch Spence at any point, at a low point in his game, I think right now is probably the best time because there's a lot of questions there regarding what shape, not shape, but condition, what Errol Spence is going to show up. I think that if he fights Spence, he can end up. It's a good fight because Sean Porter fought Spence on the inside. And he did really, really well. And I was thinking, okay, if Danny applies the same game plan and he picks the shots and he counters, he's going to do really, really well. And I can see him landing some big, big punches in there. I still, in El Soler. Oh, bro, that's where I would spend my summers is for over there, man. Lobitos. That's crazy. Yeah. I would spend my summers in that area. I would always go to that taco spot growing up. That's crazy. The Calimax was like on the other side over there across the street. And that's nuts, man. What a small world. Soler is headed towards La Playas. Yeah, that's true. Back to Danny. I give Danny I still favor Errol in the fight because I favor him because obviously what's made Danny lose these fights, okay? Danny's lost the decisions with Thurman, decisions with Porter because of his activity. It just hasn't thrown enough. He's let some of these fights get away from him. So he really needs to up his activity. But the thing is, I don't know if that's him as a fighter because he's a natural counterpuncher. Matt Gaming, what's up, bro? Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Appreciate you using the super chat function. Thanks for that. So, the same thing with Broner. When everyone says like Broner, you just got to throw more punches. You just got to throw more punches. I don't know if it's in them as a fighter. Like when I mean in them, like what they are, the essence of who they are as a fighter. Danny's a counterpuncher. Shout out Marcos. Yeah, I used to pack bags at Cali when I was a kid. That's crazy. Same here, man. Art says Errol's going to lose, but if you ask a counterpuncher to throw more punches, that means they're being a little bit more aggressive, and that's not who they are as a fighter. So at the end of the day, for us to ask Danny to throw more punches takes him off as to who he is as a fighter, takes him off from what he does best as a fighter, and that's counterpunching. He's a tremendous counterpuncher, Edison Jaro, thank you, bro. Appreciate that for the other super chat on here. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, everybody. If you haven't so already, follow us on social media at Fight Up TV. An hour and 8 minutes. Right? Shoot, I went over. We usually do this just for an hour. This is how entertaining this has been for this hour. I got to end it, guys, because I got to go get my workout in. I got to get my swollen because I got to weigh a certain weight before I go to Texas. I'm going to go to Texas for this Garcia Spence fight. So you'll get full fight coverage that week coming up for the Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia fight. Errol will destroy Mikey. What? They already fought, bro. What are you talking about? Danny says he's the heaviest hitter Spence has seen. I like that for Danny. I think he is actually. You got to make you got to give Danny his props. He's a big puncher, man. He's a big puncher. A lot of these guys, haven't had knockouts the way Danny has, but to be fair, Danny's had those knockouts at 140, not 147. And JP, another vlog? Yes, I'm going to put another vlog together for the time over there in Dallas. All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go get my workout in because I think this bubble is going to be stricter than the other bubble they put us in. Go ahead and give us a final like right now for the stream. Smash like button if you're just joining in right now. I gave you all the info you need to know about this Tyson versus Roy Jones fight. Go ahead and press rewind. Go all the way to the start of the stream so you can get all the info on that. I gave every single detail about this fight for Roy Jones and Mike Tyson. Go ahead and Antonio Margarito lives close to Soler. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's actually really, really good to know. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media at Hey, it's Marcos V for me, and at Fight Hub TV. That's on Twitter as well. So appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it, Micah, Brandonian, Mad Gaming Entertainment. Thank you. I appreciate that, bro. Wish you all the best and stay safe. You too, bro. You stay safe as well. New to the channel, Nikolai, welcome to the channel. This is Fight Hub. Subscribe. All right, guys, I got to go get my workout in, dog. Abner Maris has a house in Soler. I'm going to message Abner right now. I didn't know this. But take it easy, guys. I got to go. I got to get my workout in before they shut this the gym down. Peace out, guys. Press like on the stream, and I'll see you next week. And if they don't let me into this Tyson fight, I'm going to try to freaking sneak in somehow, some way. All right? So peace out, guys. Take it easy.